Welcome back to another episode of Link's Awakening DX. Last time, we did some exploring, helped Richard because he's a jobber, and we got his leaves back so we can get into his castle. And then we cleared the third dungeon, Key Cavern. And now, it's time to head to the desert. I kind of forgot we're supposed to go to the desert at this point. I thought we just went straight to the waterfall, but no, we're going to the desert. Which is all the way in the southeast. So we got our work cut out for us. It's going to be a long journey. And I had mentioned this before, but I feel like this is one of the most obscure secrets in the game. Is you can get hit in the face with an Octorok. No. Annoying little fuckers. So nothing appears to happen if you ran into this particular tree. Okay, well, never mind. This particular tree, you can run into it with the boots and get a seashell. Although I want to say it has to be from a certain direction. I suppose there is actually something else I can show off very quickly involving ramming into trees. Alright, so we are right back near the very first dungeon. You may be asking, what the hell are we doing here? And this, I think, is maybe the most obscure. Maybe not the most obscure, but one of the most obscure secrets in the game. This tree right here, if you ram into it, it also drops a seashell. Again, I want to say only from certain angles will it drop the seashell. These are the only two trees in the game that are like this, by the way. There are no other trees that you can bump into. Speaking of more things to bump into, though, there is actually something quite close by that we can go do that with. Let's quickly head up into this building we haven't been into yet, the library. And what this room is, we never went into the library before, but basically, this room is just filled with a whole bunch of, like, tutorials, basically. Like, oh, you can hold the sword attack button to do a spinning attack, like, yeah, whatever. Hold down the sword button and build up your power. When you have enough, you can release the button. Can you master this? No, it's fucking impossible. Alright, there's a curious book here, Dark Secrets and Mysteries of Koholint. Do you really want to read it? What's this? You can't read the tiny print without the aid of a magnifying glass. Unfortunate. Anyway, there's a book up there, all the way on top of the shelf. This is not a chest. What? You knew that? Okay. I never understood. What the fuck is this dialogue for when you look at a bookshelf? I don't get it. So strange. Anyway. You ram into the shelf with the boots. The book drops, and it says, New World of Color under the 5 gravestones. I wonder what that means. Whoever is worthy receives the power of color. I wonder what the World of Color is. I'm sure, you know, I truly wonder what that could be. In fact, you know what? Screw the desert. We're just going to go do that right now. We should be able to at this point. I'm pretty sure you can do it even earlier. I want to say, I mentioned this a few episodes ago, I think. I don't remember how long ago, but there's the gravestones in the graveyard you can push. And we tried to push them, and it basically told us we have no courage and we need to fuck off. I want to say you're allowed in there as soon as you get rid of Bow Wow, but in case you couldn't figure it out, yeah, that book is telling you how to access this World of Color. And if you couldn't guess what the World of Color is, well, they needed to add some new content to justify you buying this game again after the Game Boy version. And, well, that's what this is, the Color Dungeon. And you're allowed to enter the Color Dungeon extremely early. Although you never are required to come here, and I don't think the devs expected you to come here for quite a while, but you're able to come here as soon as you unlock it very early, and pretty much immediately deal with it. So let's get it out of the way. If I'm red, he's blue. If he's red, I'm blue. You're blue. I guess the whole point of these two skeletons is to, I mean, the point of this whole dungeon is, look, it's in color, we couldn't do this on the Game Boy. Which, I mean, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, it's cool. Color Dungeon is certainly neat. You got these very strange looking slimy guys here. I always thought they looked funny. Anyway, Color Dungeon. It's not that special. Very basic puzzle here. Oh, another compass, great. I don't remember if this dungeon, if you check the map, it either is referred to Dungeon 0 or Dungeon 9. I do not remember. Let's see. Yeah, this is level 0. Because, of course, this dungeon, well, this wasn't in the game in the original. I want to say through some, like, weird shit, you can access this place in the original version of the game. Check it out. There's a extra secret bombable wall over here. I think through some glitches you could get here in the Game Boy version, and the game would freak the fuck out. Look at that. A huge room filled with a bunch of weirdly colored rupees. Give you 5 each. I want to say the rupees down here can respawn if you re-enter. I don't remember. But either way, you get a bunch of rupees for doing it, so it's extremely worth it. That's another secret in this game I actually did not know about for the longest time. I don't know if they ever hint towards it at all. Or if I'm just stupid. Another strange enemy here. There's these... They're kind of like the guys you have to flip with your shield, in a way. Except you gotta pick them up with the bracelet. And then you chuck them into these holes. And you get a beak for your trouble. That's just great. This is an odd dungeon. You can kind of tackle it, and oh shit, you can just get knocked into a hole like an idiot. I feel you can tackle a lot of the rooms in this dungeon in kind of whatever order you really feel like. It's pretty open in that regard. For a dungeon, it is quite short, and I mean, it is just some extra optional content they threw in there for the re-release to, you know, sweeten the deal. So, can't really expect it to be all that much. The same puzzle, but again. Of course, except now there's 3 colors instead of just 2. Ooh. Can go up here to find... Oh my god, I am no weakling. Your pitiful sword is no match for me. Well, they weren't kidding when they said at the entrance that you need powder to do anything here. And it doesn't take a genius to figure out why. This guy's like a super boss version of like the weird Wobbuffet looking motherfucker, except he actually looks like Wobbuffet now because he's blue instead of green. Whatever. Another pretty easy boss. It is very unlikely that you would run out of powder up to this point, especially unlikely that you would run out of powder getting to this boss. Anyway, for our trouble we get the Nightmare Key. Great. This dungeon is actually the first one we're going to see that has multiple mini-bosses. That's a quite rare thing in this game, for a dungeon to have several mini-bosses, I think. Mostly the later dungeons that do that. Oh, you fucker, you stole my piece of power. Mexi bombs, my god. And we immediately have another mini-boss, the Golem. A buffoon like you might as well give up and kill yourself. Oh, go home, yeah. I had a feeling that's what he would say, yeah. This boss is certainly annoying, because you get pushed back extremely far when you hit him, and there are spikes around the room. And your sword can clank off the boulders he drops, which can also just send you flying backwards into spikes. Also, you can see he, like, stomps the floor and you're supposed to jump over the earthquake, except... Even if you jump at the last second, you will still actually get, like, stunned for a second and unable to move. A bit strange. Oh, shit. Oh, no. Okay, we're good. We lost several hearts there, but we are fine. Do that, fairy. Oh shit, well, there I go into the hole. I have no idea what these guys are even supposed to be, but they're kind of goofy looking, so it's okay. This damn room is the bane of my existence. If I remember correctly, there's a quick way to do it. I want to say you just do this. Okay, there we go. I remember being a kid and not knowing that you could quickly solve that puzzle and just getting stuck there forever. But it's actually quite easy. Oops, wrong map. I looked at the world map. Speaking of maps, we never actually even got the regular dungeon map, funny enough. I think there's some side path. Yeah, we can go up from here. I'm not sure this part of the dungeon is actually mandatory, but... Oh, might as well pick up an acorn. No, might as well see the rest of the dungeon. Let's get some extra rupees and stuff. Oh shit. Wow, I'm a bad aim. Oh, I'm a really bad aim. If you're shit at throwing like me, you can just throw these guys, like, you can hit them with your sword to knock them into the hole, like that. It's honestly much easier than doing it the intended way, I feel like. I don't remember exactly where you're supposed to stand. There we go. All that for a small key. Great. Oh, hey, there's the map. Alright. Let's keep on moving. There's not much of the dungeon left. In fact, yeah, we basically already seen the end of it. Let's move up on through here again. Oh shit, we should be able to hit this if we do this. Nope, crap. No, we gotta be more ingenious than that. Okay, well, I'm not that smart. I'm pretty sure you can do this at this point. Was there, like, a crystal switch somewhere else in the dungeon that I missed? Well, time to backtrack. You know what? Okay, I'm not very smart. I forgot we don't even need to hit that crystal switch. In fact, I don't know why it's there, because, we had the fucking nightmare key already. I'm genuinely not very smart. And also, while I was backtracking through the dungeon like an idiot, I did find a fairy. So, full heal, that was nice. Anyway, time for an absolute pain in the ass of a boss fight. Yellow is caution, blue safe, red is danger. This boss is a doozy. I'm probably going to want this. So basically the gimmick with this fight is that you have to continuously hit him in rapid succession to make him change color. And if you go too long without hitting him, he will revert colors. And it's possible, but really difficult if you immediately come here like I'm doing. You are definitely intended to come here later. But I'm stubborn, so we're just going to do this. Yeah, you can trick him if you're lucky, you can get him to shove himself into the corner like this. And then you can just hit him a whole bunch of times in rapid succession, but he's not exactly having it. Hey, there we go. I think what you were intended to do is probably to have, like, the bow at this point, which I suppose you can have the bow at this point. I don't know, but, hey, look, we made it to the end of the color dungeon. Welcome, Moss Space. I admire you for coming this far. If you want offense, choose red. If you want defense, choose blue. So, in case you couldn't guess what this does, basically, is the red tunic will just permanently give you the, spoiler alert, by the way, yeah, this changes the color of your tunic. The red tunic will just permanently give you the piece of power, like the damage bonus, but not the speed increase, I don't believe. And the blue tunic will give you the acorn effect of half damage. And, yeah, take a wild guess as to which one we're choosing. One is very obviously better than the other. The red tunic is just absolutely overpowered, of course. The red clothes. And I always thought this line of dialogue here at the end was very strange, because I was a dumbass kid. I will not take you out. What she's clearly saying is, I will not take you out of the dungeon. Except I was a stupid fucking kid, and I thought that she was saying she's gonna beat the crap out of me, and she was turning evil all of a sudden. I was not smart as a kid. Anyway, as you can see, yeah, no, we just permanently have the bonus damage of the piece of power. Not having the bonus speed certainly sucks, but what the fuck was that? What was that? I just killed everything on screen, like, all at once with a single sword slash. What the fuck? That was strange. Anyway, yeah, we are very overpowered now. When I was younger, actually, I do admit I would always take the blue tunic. One, because I like the color of blue better. The blue tunic was very nice. And more importantly, because when I was a kid, I was not good enough to beat the final boss, because I would always take too much damage, so I actually would get the blue tunic, because I needed the extra defense to be able to survive all the attacks. And that did work! That is how I beat the game the first time, funny enough. Anyway. Hey, look, it's, Terran. AKA not Mario. Yeah. You can the stick. There you go. Awesome. I always love this line of dialogue. Yeah, you're not sure how it happened, but take it. Yeah, fuck it, sure. Anyway, one last thing we can show for this episode is it's actually worth it to go into this bombable wall now. As you can see, there are a bunch of the crystals here that you need the boots to be able to run through. Oh, what a weird object. There must be some way to tackle this obstacle, perchance. Yeah, let's just quickly head on in here. I didn't bother bombing this before, because as you can see, there's not much point before this. Ignore that guy hitting me. Quickly, come down here. Get 50 rupees, not bad. But there is another secret in here. That is... This wall over here is bombable for no reason. There's absolutely no indication that this is the case, as far as I'm aware. There's another secret that eluded me for a long time. I genuinely have no idea how the fuck you're possibly supposed to know that's there. But whatever, we got another piece of heart, and now we're at 2. Awesome. Anyway, that will be all for this time. Next time, we're actually going to go to the desert and figure out what's going on at the waterfall, so see you then.